Hello and welcome to a lecture on passive optical networks. Learning outcomes. By the end of this session, student will be able to illustrate the passive optical network architecture and its operations. Before starting the topic, you may here pause the video and try to answer this question. What are the passive components used in optical networks? Before answering this question, one may ask what is exactly passive components. So the components used in optical networks which do not require external power for its operations are known as optical components. And these are some of the passive components: couplers, circulators, optical add drop multiplexer, optical cross connect, and wavelength converters. All these components do not require external power for its operation. A passive optical network is based on the WDM, that is wavelength division multiplexing, and bidirectional transmission on a single optical fiber. In passive optical network, there are no active components between the central office and the customer premises. The central office is nothing but just like a telephone exchange in our telephony system. The passive optical components are placed in a network part to direct the traffic contained within the specific optical wavelengths between the end user points and the central office. Here in this diagram, you can see a typical passive optical network. On the left hand side of this diagram, from here, this is a central office, and from here it is the end user customer or subscriber premises. The region between the central office and the user premises is known as access region, and this access region can span up to 20 kilometers in length. Now, between central office and the customer premises, a single optical fiber is present only. Now, this optical fiber is connected to a power splitter. This power splitter simply divides the power into n outgoing paths. If P is the power entering into this optical splitter and this optical splitter has n number of output paths, then if the design of the power splitter is such that it divides the power equally into n outgoing paths, then each path will have P by n optical power entering into these n paths. When we go for the downstream transmission, means from central office to the customer, the voice and the data are digitized and sent over the 1490 nanometer wavelength. For downstream video transmission, the wavelength used is 1550 nanometers. For upstream transmission, means from customer to the central office, the voice and data are digitized and sent over the wavelength 1310 nanometer. One point to note here is that no video transmission is allowed in upstream direction, means from customer to the central office, video transmission is not allowed. As it is a passive optical network, there will not be no active components in this region, means this access region will have only passive components, it will do not have any active components. Typically, the number of splitting path for this particular passive optical networks are 8, 16 and 32. These are in terms of power of 2. The active devices only exist in this central office premises in the central office or at the customer end. In access region, no active devices are present. All the users attached to a particular passive optical network share the same 1310 nanometer wavelength for upstream transmission. All these n number of users will share the same wavelength for their transmission to the central office. So this requires a very carefully and meticulously timed assignments of transmission permit to each user, so that the interference between the upstream transmission from these all n end users can be avoided. There are multiple implementation schemes of passive optical network. The first is broadband passive optical network. This scheme is based on the ATM, asynchronous transport mode technique, as a transport and signaling protocol. This technique is relatively costly and it is incompatible with the emerging technologies. The second implementation scheme is Ethernet passive optical network or Gigabit Ethernet passive optical network. This implementation scheme uses 1 gigabit per second Ethernet as an underlying protocol. This Gigabit Ethernet passive optical network is based on IEEE 802.3AH EPON standard. The another implementation scheme which combines the features of both these EPON and broadband PON is Gigabit passive optical network, as this combines the feature of ATM and Ethernet to provide more efficient and flexible network uses. Gigabit passive optical network implementation scheme provides a downstream speed of 2.5 gigabits per second and upstream speed of 1.25 gigabits per second. This Gigabit passive optical network implementation scheme provides broadband internet services and natively delivers ATM, time division multiplexing and Ethernet traffic. Typically, the bandwidth is shared by 32 users. The last implementation scheme is very widely used and it is WDM passive optical network. This implementation scheme uses different wavelength for each user, which greatly enhances the network capacity. Enhances the network capacity means it enhances the data rate and in turn it enhances the bandwidth available. Here we seen the typical architecture of PON, and in WDM PON implementation scheme, instead of this power splitter, a wavelength division multiplexer is used. So this enables the flexibility in the services offered by the passive optical network, as each user has a dedicated wavelength, so a very high bandwidth demands can easily be accommodated without affecting the other low bandwidth customers. So this scheme is very widely used and most popular scheme of implementation. Let's see what are the active passive optical network modules. These active modules are nothing but the optoelectronic equipment which are located in the central office or in the user premises. There are three modules. The first is optical line termination, the other is optical network termination, and the third is optical network unit. Optical line termination. This device or module is located in the central office and this controls the bidirectional information flow in a network. Bidirectional means upstream and downstream information flow. An optical line termination unit must support the transmission up to 20 kilometers, because this is the device which actually located on the central office and there is no any active device until the customer premises. Means in the access region which span 20 kilometer, does not have any active module, so this optical line termination should support the transmission of up to 20 km in distance. A typical optical line termination is designed to control more than one passive optical network. Here in this diagram you can see a optical line termination unit is capable of serving 4 passive optical networks. These are the 4 passive optical networks, and if in this case each passive optical network has 32 outputs, then 32 times 4 means this a single OLT is capable of serving, or it distributes the data to 128 end users, because each PON has 32 users attached to it. But users are not directly attached to this power splitter or passive optical network splitter, but they are connected to this ONT units, and this each ONT is connected to a single end user. What are the functions of this optical line termination module? For downstream transmission, whatever signal is coming to this OLT, it is broadcasted to all the PONs. For upstream transmission, this module accepts and distributes the multiple types of voice and data traffic from the network user. These are the references used. Thank you.